Hello, hello. I hope that everybody is very fine. Today we're going to see a reading in favor or against online dating and whether to look up words. This is only a video complementary. I'm going to put you just the audios. However, we're going to page to work on page number 120, reading and scanning, and page 121, vocabulary. Uh, as I told you, it's complementary because I already sent you the pages uh, by word on your classroom activities. So I'm going to put you the audios here. Those do the audios after you finish the previous activities. So first you are going to read, answer the questions, yes, on page number 120, and then you are going to do at the end the exercise that is the audio. The same with the vocabulary. And well, I wanted to see something here. Whether to look up words. Okay, redeciding when to look up words, then reread the sentences in the article where the yellow highlighted words appear in pairs. Explain whether to look them up and why not. Okay, this is important. That's why I also printed, because we have so many highlighted words, yes, and I need that you analyze calmly. Well, as I told you previously, uh, I'll give you the answers the next class, so it is very important that you do your best, and I'm going to put the audio. Please listen and reread. Again, this, you have the papers words with you. Reread to check which tip do you think is most important. This is the activity of this is a question. Answer it please when you send me your activities. So listen.
Audio 11.10 How to Stay Safe While Dating by Ken Solon. Follow these tips to stay safe during your first few encounters with someone new. I was walking on California's Stinson Beach in August 2009 when I struck up a conversation with a woman who seemed utterly delightful. Captivated, I invited her to dinner at my house that evening. Big mistake. After dinner, she refused to leave. And, according to her, why should she? My acquaintance of 12 hours bizarrely insisted that we were living together. The situation felt menacing. Would I find a rabbit stew boiling on the stove? So I summoned my next-door neighbor, a woman, for help. The two of us spent 45 minutes coaxing my surprise head case to leave, but it took a threat to call the police to finally get her out the door. Does it jar you to find a man writing about dating safety? Don't let it. Scary situations can pop up for anyone in the dating world, female or male, online or not. That's why everyone who is part of that world must take some basic steps to ensure his or her physical safety. At the very least, consider adopting the approaches below. All of them draw on my 12 years of recent online dating experience. 1. Gentlemen first. When you've exchanged emails with a prospect and you feel it's time to furnish phone numbers, the man should offer his first. If he doesn't, the woman should ask him to do so. I can't think of any good reason why a legitimately eligible man would withhold his digits. If he does, that's ample cause to feel unsafe. Give the dude a pass. 2. Pick a safe spot for your first date. A busy daytime cafe is ideal. There isn't much privacy, but you'll be grateful for the presence of others if an unpleasant situation develops. If your date refuses to meet at a cafe or insists on a less public place, simply move on. 3. Know when to bail. I once had a coffee date with a woman who grew increasingly angry and vocal over her mistreatment by an ex-boyfriend. When she turned her attack on me, I got up and left, and was thankful for an audience to witness my exit. 4. Call for backup. Part 1. If a coffee date shows up with a bad attitude, a bad temper, or a foul mouth, head for the door. Do likewise if he or she attempts to corral you into a relationship. If you feel truly threatened, explain the situation to the cafe manager and ask him or her to walk you to your car. 5. Call for backup. Part 2. I was enjoying a second date at a restaurant when my companion took a call during dinner. I was pretty sure I knew what was going on. "I'm just fine," she told the caller, then stowed the phone with an apologetic smile. "What would your friend have done if you hadn't picked up?" I asked her. "She had instructions to call the police," she replied. Good tip. Smart woman. 6. Ask the right questions. Certain queries can reveal a lot of info in a short amount of time about a person you've just met. You might ask, for example, if your date has close friends. A yes indicates he or she is capable of connecting with others. A no suggests a lack of intimacy skills. 7. Be safe at home. As I learned the hard way with my would-be Glenn Close, it's unwise to welcome anyone into your abode unless you know them well. If you're unsure, consider asking another couple to join you. My current girlfriend, whom I met online, by the way, invited me into her home after only our second date. I accepted, thanking her for her trust, but later mentioned that she could have been putting herself at risk. We all want to believe the best about people, but a date you don't really know deserves only a modicum of trust. So rather than rolling the dice when it comes to your personal safety, try following the steps above. Who knows? They might even be a shortcut to finding the right person out there. Note: dating services' official rules for dating online are located under their website's terms of use. They suggest appropriate behavior, but screening is minimal, so I strongly urge you to use the tips above to create your own safety zone. Keep in mind that you can block any other member if you ever start to feel that safety is an issue.
Okay, excellent. So now I'm going to put you the next audio. And don't think that I forgot that today is Children's Day. So happy day, happy birthday to you. Well, happy Children's Day. Now we're going to listen the next part. Remember to read this first.
Audio 11.11.
Remember that article on online dating I showed you? I want to do some vocabulary with my class, but I've identified 21 possible words and expressions.
A great topic, though. How to stay safe while dating. Let's take a look.
So, first, let me tell you about some of the words I didn't choose.
Okay, you've given a lot of thought to this.
I have. For example, take to bail. It's pretty obvious it means to leave, and students will figure that out when they insert the section titles. Then there's strike up a conversation. They can figure out that means to start when they see walking on the beach, seemed delightful, and invited her to my house. What else could it possibly mean in this context?
You have a point. But on the other hand, strike up is a useful phrasal verb. And bail, or even better, bail out, could be a good informal verb to know.
So maybe I should let them choose their own words. For example, if they've seen them before, then they may want to look them up so they can use them in their own conversation.
Not a bad idea.
Then take utterly. Even if you have no idea it means very or completely, just try removing it. The sentence still makes perfect sense.
True. You could say if you don't need the word to understand the text, keep reading.
And then there's stew. I left that out too. It's obviously something to eat when you see boiling on the stove. So students will know it's a dish with rabbit. And besides, it has nothing to do with dating.
You're pretty good at this.
It's really just common sense. And head case, forget it. Too informal. They'll figure out it means crazy.
But how will students know when a word is informal?
They can only guess, but the key is whether they've seen it before. Reading, of course, includes many examples of the writer's own style. Take, for example, does it jar you? Students might not even find the verb jar in the dictionary because we generally say, is it jarring?
Wow, a good reason to cut down on dictionary use, isn't it?
Absolutely. I'm going to start by giving them just these 5. To coax, to pop up, to draw on, eligible, and to screen. And I think I'll give the class some helpful hints on whether to look up words. It will be really interesting to see which words they...
Okay, excellent. So that's all for this video. Have a nice day. Enjoy this day. I don't know. As for the children who needs adoptions because they need a family. They need to have all the rights to be happy. Okay. Bye. See you the next class.